good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. We are here with our new Facebook Live series. If you have not heard yet, we're doing a series. We're going to go live every Wednesday at noon with a Des Moines business organization, a parent of some sort during this time. And so today, our special guest is Rhea, the marketing coordinator for Primrose School of Urbandale. Welcome, Rhea.
Thank you. I'm glad to be able to come host this event with you.
Yeah, we're super excited. Tell us a little bit about Primrose. I know you guys just recently opened. So tell us, where you're located, how long you've been open, how things are going.
Yeah, so we're actually on week 3 of being open, so that's pretty exciting for us.
Yes.
Forewarning, I don't have my mask on right now, but I'm in a classroom that is not of any use and is kind of just absented from the whole facility. So just want to put that safety precaution out there.
Yes.
We're located right next to Lifetime Fitness, so right on Hickman. Right as soon as you get off the interstate, you'll be able to see us in our bright green rooster. That's our Primrose sign and logo. Primrose is actually a new daycare within the area of Iowa. We're actually the second one to open for Iowa. They are usually based in the South. So if you ever go down to warmer areas like Texas or Florida, you'll catch a bunch of us out there. We're a premium daycare and preschool. So right now we cater to children from 6 weeks of age all the way to 5 years of age. We go all the way up to infants to pre-K.
Awesome. That's totally awesome. And as you're watching, I see people jumping on. Feel free to drop a question or leave a comment or give us a like so we know that you're here. And we'll try and get those questions answered as we're discussing things. But tell us a little bit. So you're 6 weeks to pre-K, correct? Tell us a little bit about the curriculum. What does that look like for each age, each stage?
Yeah, so I know personally when I hear curriculum and I hear daycare, it doesn't really add up. What are you teaching small children, especially infants? You're not going to be teaching them sophisticated math lessons.
Right.
But within the curriculum, I think the way Primrose has it set up is honestly one of the most surprising ones that I've ever experienced working in a preschool program and a daycare program. So one of the biggest components they talk about, especially for our younger children, is creating that social and emotional development and that growth. So especially right now, we've had a lot of children come into our program that are infants that have never seen other children. They've only kind of been experienced with their parents just due to the pandemic. So being able to start drawing on what those emotions are, learning their ways of having sign language for those infants. So being able to develop small movements as such, because they aren't able to be verbal and they also have never experienced that. So we implement that through all of our programs with that social and emotional development. So within all our programs, we have lessons and curriculum that are implemented. So it's never just one unit that we're like, this is the unit we're going to talk about emotions and that's it. And you'll have it once every year. It's incorporated throughout the year. So one of the lessons that I know our pre-K teacher is going ahead and teaching right now is how to deal with their emotions and kind of ways to cope with that. As a pre-K student, there's a lot of times that children kind of go back to their more fraternal habits of trying to be quiet or getting frustrated and having a tantrum instead of using their voice and using their words to vocalize how they're feeling and understanding those emotions. So the social and emotional development from the curriculum right now, I think, is huge for us, especially in the time period that we are in. As for the other curriculum that we provide right now is a lot of science and sensory as well as music and art. So we do provide a curriculum that bases and focuses on the literature aspect and the mathematics. So one of the best things about Primrose is that every child that comes in, we want to not just find your weaknesses and say, this is where we need to add more attention, but really strengthen and blossom those strengths. So if a child comes in, we have different stations open every morning, part of our curriculum and how our lesson plans go for the day. And so if one child just absolutely loves the sensory station, loves being able to pick up paper clips with a magnet through water and kind of explore that relationship of how that magnetism works, we want to make sure we focus on that. If that child might be a scientist when he grows up, or she might be a scientist when she grows up. So being able to explore and flourish that strength, as well as keeping that knowledge that they might not like dramatic play, they might not enjoy dressing up, or they might not enjoy doing art, just being able to and take that individual approach of what that child likes and needs and being able to incorporate to help strengthen their needs. So what one of our teachers does is one of our children love dinosaurs. And what they'll end up doing actually is making that same comment. So if they love playing with the dinosaurs when they come in, but we want to see if they can strengthen their art skills or kind of develop that element of their growth, we encourage them to color a dinosaur page, just using their strengths and their passions, incorporating in every other station we have.
I love that. I love that you meet where the child is, and and I didn't even really think about that, which it's kind of, obvious if you think about it, but the children, a lot of them probably haven't been, even like the preschoolers, they may have not been around a lot of other kids since, last March. And that's like a huge gap of losing that socialization and education as well. I mean, parents do as best as I can at home, but they also have a lot on their plate too. So they, juggling all that. So I love that you guys really take that into account, where we are right now within the pandemic and just meeting where they're at. And also like the structure. I like how there's structure, but it's not like, okay, from this time to this time, we're doing this. And then like, that's it, we're done, we're moving on, allowing them to really dig into that more if they feel that they want to do that, which is amazing.
Exactly. With that, exactly. Like, we are still in the pandemic. So I know for sure, like as a college student right now, like you see research studies come back from past predicaments in history and kind of learning what you evolved from that. And there's already studies going on now about the social and emotional development and whole impact on students right now that have to do virtual learning or any considerations with that. So one of the biggest things we have in this facility is not just even how we implement the program and the curriculum, is how we're trying to keep the facility safe. So we have a lot of staff right now that I know, like, they're getting vaccinated because we fall within that 1B phase. On top of that, the franchise owners delayed the opening, which was a cause of panic for a few parents. But for the long term, we were able to add a new HVAC system that helps remove 94% of COVID-19 pathogens. We do temperature checks throughout the day. We have contact tracing log sheets. So any teacher that goes into a classroom, we know exactly where they were, and we don't ask them to go into any other classroom. So being able to give that sense of calm and sereneness to a parent, to let them know that their child is finally getting structure back in their life that helps with their academic and their emotional growth, on top of knowing that you're going to be able to drop your child into a facility that's not just safe and can protect them and tries their best to make sure that's a safe COVID environment, so you don't feel guilty or feel unsafe leaving your child there, but also knowing it's a facility that wants to help your child grow and doesn't see your child as only having them hit a certain milestone at a certain time. Like, that's not the essential goal of Primrose. We want to make sure each child flourishes on their time, on their pace. Like, no child should be forced to be learned, like, this is a certain time you need to have this completed. This is your milestone. Each child is unique and each child has their own individual strengths and weaknesses. So really being able to see that in Primrose's curriculum, even before COVID, which is like absolutely amazing to me. And I know the way Primrose's curriculum is based is that they have an early council of early education professionals. So even on the Primrose website, it goes through who those professionals are, what their study and their field is. So they're still doing their research every day, and that's their job. So whenever there's a new study saying like the social and emotional development is being impacted for children, especially during periods of COVID, that gets reflected back into our curriculum. So our teachers, their primary goal is to strengthen their relationships with our students. They don't have to be concerned about making a curriculum, doing the research. Their only primary goal is the child, and it's their relationship with every student. And I think personal relationships are so relevant and so important even past COVID, but certainly right now, like, we want to make sure every single everything that we can do to make a child feel safe and help them grow. So when we get past this pandemic, they can say, I came out of this. Every parent can say, I came out of this and I was able to take my 40-hour-a-week job. I was able to take care of my child, and they're doing amazing. They're prepared for kindergarten. They're prepared for their future. Like, that is the ultimate goal of Primrose.
Yeah, I love that. So what is the teacher student ratio right now? I mean, I know it changes as you get more enrollments, but currently what does that look like?
So currently, the way that DHS has it planned is that there's no longer the capacity of having it at 50%, but right now we are limiting our numbers. So if we were to get to a classroom where we would reach full capacity, we have 2 classrooms of each. So we would end up just splitting the program. This way we help reduce having so many children in one area. So essentially we're also having our half capacity limitation on all of our classrooms.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then if parents, who are listening or watch the replay on this, how do they get involved? How does open enrollment work? Do they fill out an application? How can they get like an inside look of what Primrose looks like?
Yeah, I would like to encourage any parents that are on this Facebook Live with us right now or will be seeing it in the future to go ahead and just give us a call. Our number is 515-201-5636. You can even shoot us a message on Facebook. Everyone here is ready to communicate and help out. We provide tours in person, and I think sometimes it's much easier to be able to come into a tour and kind of see exactly what's being provided for your child.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you'll be able to meet any teachers that would be for your child's select age program, as well as our leadership team. And the first step that happens is just our pre-registration. And right now, the franchise owners know, considering the certain conditions of the market and how everyone's kind of doing getting through the winter and kind of being stuck at home, we're actually providing a $500 scholarship for the first month of tuition. So if any parent is interested, feel free to leave a comment. You can even message me on Facebook or even stop by in the facility, and we'd be happy to help.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's a great deal, for the first month. Yeah, because right now I feel like with winter, not just, the pandemic, but like just everyone's moving a little bit slower nowadays and trying to figure out where we're going and what's going to work with our lives. So I love that you're offering that as well. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, of course.
Trying to think, is there anything else that you want to mention before we sign off regarding either the education or the tours or anything else like that?
Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and make a little note. I realized I didn't mention this within our curriculum, but we also do provide meals throughout the day. So if you are a parent out there that has to start working at 6:30 in the morning and like you need time to go grocery shop later in the afternoon, don't worry about meals or snacks. We're open from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 in the evening. And throughout that day, we provide breakfast, lunch, and we provide snacks throughout the day. And all these snacks have been approved by a dietitian that focuses on children's pediatrics. So every meal and every snack that we provide, you'll make sure that we're still putting that balanced approach in our curriculum, but also in our meals.
I love that. That's cool. And so tell me a little bit. So if you have a child who's doing like the pre-K, but needs like, typically when you have a child going to pre-K, it's like 9 to like noon or something like that, And so if someone needs like before care and after care, is that included or what does that look like? So is it like there's just that slot of time is the education part and then they pick them up at that noon time or just kind of.
Yeah. So that's actually the way we've structured our half day program. So we also have a half day program that runs from 8:30 in the morning to 12:30. And we chose the selected times because around 12:30 is when we put down children for naps that do fall within that age program, as well as 8:30 to 12:30 is when our biggest pieces of curriculum happen. So for example, the way curriculum is structured, it's the same within every facility. So if your child were to join us even for half day rates for the program, and then say, you had to move out of state or something were to occur that you moved to Ankeny, you could join the Ankeny facility and be right where your curriculum ended and be in the same thing. So all the curriculum falls in throughout the day. So there's certain lessons that go throughout, but the main lessons that are provided always usually occur in the morning, as well as breakdowns of those later on within the day.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. All right. So there's lots of options for wherever you may be with ages and where you're on your education. So I love that. Awesome. Well, I think that's it for me. I thank you for joining me and talking about all things Primrose. And those who are watching the playback, feel free to drop any questions or comments in below. We will keep an eye on those and try and get those answers quickly. And then make sure you visit their Facebook page and their website, and we'll drop those links in the comment section so you can click and check out more about Primrose. So thank you, Rhea.
Thank you for having me, Erin. Have a great day.
Yes, everyone, have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you guys next week.